Yes, hello tradies. It is season 3, episode 20. It's the middle of July. It's freezing. It's a good time to be going away. We are here.
Going away?
You know this. For St Andrews Brewery, their new brewery at Melbourne Park. The only place to be before a game at the G. It's the only place other than Belfast that you want to go and have a pint. Hello, Mitchell.
So you're going to Belfast. We spoke about this off here. I don't think you've brought this on here yet.
I have, haven't I?
No,
I'm leaving today.
You're leaving today?
I'm leaving today.
Bags are packed?
Well, sort of. Basically.
So what takes you to Belfast in July?
I am covering the Open
Wow.
golf for the age.
It's incredible.
Number of Australians going over there. And obviously we've got Rory McIlroy, who's, the Masters winner, and coming to Australia in November to play here. So he'll be over there as well.
So first Wimbledon, now the Open.
Yeah, Wimbledon from the studio.
How did you end up with all that?
I got a lot of texts from people thinking that I was at Wimbledon.
Yeah, a lot of people said to me, "Oh, when's Sam get back?" I'm like, "What do you mean? He's been down in Burke Street the whole time."
Yes. Yep. Finishing work very early in the morning. It wasn't even late at night. It was just early in the morning.
Have you secured an interview with Rory?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. What's your first question to him going to be?
How often do you listen to Tradies?
Can you get a voice memo? I reckon he's a just quickly guy.
Just quickly? I've been working my Irish accent. It's so bad. Very, very bad. Can't wait. 31 hours of transit, but,
Great.
I'm ready.
How many days on the ground?
6.
Yep. Cool.
And then 31 hours back.
Most people usually go for their buy, their trips during the buy rounds, but Sam loved the buy period so much that he decided to stick through it and go overseas in July.
The buys are very exciting. I think the AFL has done an amazing job of keeping everyone just interested over that period. The footy has just been terrific. And I'm really looking forward to settling in Belfast, to finding a pub, because I can't miss Saturday night. I can't. I know that 7 can miss it because they don't do it. But Saturday night, Melbourne Carlton at the G.
Geez, Friday night's going to be... Where are you going to be for Friday night?
Melbourne Carlton at the G is going to be huge, right? So we're playing for pick 5 essentially, and it's essentially Hawthorn v Melbourne because it's Hawthorn's pick, and then the rips in order that is 17th v 18th, West Coast and the Tigers. I mean, honestly, where would you rather be?
As Nick Revolt said, I'd rather be watching Farmer Wants a Wife reruns.
Well, Nick Rewalt would be correct in representing a channel that has also said that they don't want to, they don't want to broadcast footy on TV.
People can tune in for Friday night footy. But anyway, Brisbane Dogs. We don't want to go down this rabbit hole again. People are just over it.
How's your week been?
Great, thanks.
What have you been doing?
I did agenda setters last night.
I saw that. You were Caro again.
One more tonight.
Leading the agenda.
It's been big weeks, so I've just been...
Can you take our listeners inside the panel of the agenda setters? What happens after? Do you go upstairs and crack open a beer or a bottle of wine, or...
Yep.
Is Hutchie's telling his old war stories?
Yep. Reminds me of the old class days when I was a producer. Usually you go out for one drink and everyone departs after an hour.
I think, and I feel like I've worked with a few people that this is a big enough call, I think Hutchie's the best storyteller I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He's just very engaging in a small audience, small room.
Had a bit on his
retell stories.
Had a bit on his plate last night, actually. He's
what happened?
Working through the Legends game lineup, which gets announced today.
The Legends game?
Yeah.
Oh, the EJ Whitten game?
Yeah.
Right. Are you going to be playing?
No.
Oh, it's disappointing.
Why would you want to see me out there?
Well, don't they usually have one sort of media operator?
Yeah, but...
Well, you always off air telling me how good a player you used to be.
That was 10 years ago. That ship sailed.
Lethal left foot?
Right foot.
Do you know...
Still lethal, though.
So I did an event on Friday.
You do a lot of events, don't you?
For West Preston footy. So Ian Aitken, who premiership player for Carlton.
I reckon I know how you... Is this where our man Luca, producer at 9, rolls around?
Luca Urso plays for West Preston.
Is this how the gig came about?
Actually, no. No, because I know Ian Aitken. He used to coach me at the juniors. Anyway, we digress. One of the panels... So there were 3 different panels, right? One was Clarko. One was Sam Darcy, Right, two big names.
Yeah.
And the other one was Cooper Lord, who used to play under...
Oh, did you go with the pillow story?
Why?
He's the man that travels with his pillow, like me. Oh, no. If you had told me, you would have been able to do half an hour of pillow chat.
Well, I was living off a couple of hours sleep at this point.
Right.
I was having nightmares about tennis balls, so I couldn't really do anything
So
else.
West Preston didn't get your A set.
No, they did. Had a couple of coffees in me and I was fine. Anyway, I was interviewing Cooper Lord about, this, that and the other. And I said, who did you grow up barracking for? And he said, Hawthorn. Right? And I was like, this must be pretty special being with Clarko. He's like, yeah, absolutely. So what number did you wear on your back? He said, I always had the number 15. And I was like, wow, Luke Hodge, tough like you. Yeah. And a left footer. And Cooper Lord was like, I'm a right footer. And
It's like, I've been looking at left and right hand forehands.
What? Yeah. Anyway, that was a bit embarrassing. I thought he was a left footer. I swear I've seen him kick on his left foot.
I'm sure he has, but predominantly on his right.
Anyway, I think as our tradies listenership is tuning into this, I bet you that almost every single one of us has a player at some point that we thought was the opposite foot that they are. I bet. Can you think of one off the top of your head that you used to think he was this footed, but is actually this foot?
On the top of my head.
I never knew what foot Leon Cameron was when I watched him grow up watching him. And Sam Mitchell turned into a left footer late.
Yeah.
I think there's always one you get wrong.
My Geelong mate's always joking that Mark Whitsarves thinks he's Sam Mitchell.
Well, I think Kane went with that on Classified a few years ago.
He wheels onto his left more than he should.
Trying to kick on his left foot as a ruckman. Where would you like to start?
I want to roll
trade-wise?
Before we get into I want to roll through some names.
Oh.
And we're going to bounce off each other.
This is okay.
Just something different before we get into
I like
the
it.
hardcore whiteboard. These are some names that have been thrashed out on this show, but also just in the roundabout trade space. I'm going to say a name, and we're going to say what their trade value is. So these guys aren't free agents.
Hang on, which ones are so free agents are the ones that you don't have to trade for?
Correct. So that's, for example, a free agent is Tom de Koning, Oscar Allen, James Warple's a free agent this year, Sam Draper, Marcus Bontempelli. Still unsigned.
Should we have the Bont conversation now, or will we leave it? We'll save it.
Save it. All right, so I'm going to roll through some names. We're going to say what we think their trade value is this year in a pure trade sense.
For picks.
For picks.
Just okay.
Yep. And I think we should roll with the clubs taking on the contract. So, for example, the first name is Jamara. If he arrives at a new club, the club has to take on his full deal. 1 year left.
You want me to go first?
Yep.
I'll say pick 22.
For Jamara Ugelhagen?
Yep. You?
37.
Okay.
Harry Mackay.
Oh, dear, it's a complicated one. Pick 15.
I'll say pick 16. Zach Merritt.
Pick 5 and 15.
Yep. I was going to say 2 top 12 picks, so we're probably similar.
Yep, similar.
Kyle Langford.
Oh, how old is he?
28. Got 2 years left on a deal.
Kyle Langford.
Kicked 50 goals last year.
Pick 17.
Yeah, the number I had in my head was 18, so similar ballpark.
Link, does it feel like Mitch is just taking this is like the Price is Right when you know what someone else, the person next to you's guessed? I'm just going to go $1 more.
Luke Jackson.
Oh, shit.
He's got 3 or 4 years left on his deal.
Luke Jackson's worth 2 first rounders.
Okay. I'll say 2 top 10 picks.
Wow.
There's not many like Luke Jackson. Sean Darcy.
Yeah, but how many best and fairest has he won? Sean Darcy is how old?
Oh, that's a good question.
30?
2016 drafts.
No, he wouldn't be 30.
Wouldn't he? He'd be close.
He's 27.
Okay. Sean, if you're listening, I'm so sorry that I have aged you 3 years. Sean Darcy's worth pick 14.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Pick 16.
This is ridiculous.
Leclerc.
You're going next. This is bullshit. You're going first next.
Leclerc.
How old is he? 22? 23. I need an age.
He's 24. 24 this year. I'll go first then.
Okay.
Pick 25.
No, I think. Yeah, I'll say pick. I'll say pick 24.
Chankoth Jath.
CJ, my man. Pick 30. Pick 35. Late second.
Yeah, I was going to say pick 32.
Yep.
Bailey Fritsch.
Oh,
There's 5 more of these, by the way. We'll whip through 'em.
I'm a Fritter guy. I go past the burning teammate stuff because he kicks goals. So I think he's a good player in a good team. So if I was a good team, I'd be giving pick 28 for Bailey Fritsch.
Pick 34.
Yep.
Clayton Oliver.
Oh, jeez, I love Clayton Oliver. The problem is his deal.
So he's got 4 years left on a deal.
Yeah, 4, I reckon, after this.
26, 27, 28, 29, 30. He's got 5 years left after this.
At over $1 million. So that dilutes it. Because if you could pay him 800 grand, he'd be worth a lot more. But on that money, he's probably worth pick 14.
I'll say 20, just because he'd have to take the deal on.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Zach Butters.
Oh, God, I love Zach Butters. Two top 10 picks.
Yeah, I was 2 top 8 picks.
Yep.
To get him to talk this year, given he's a free agent next year.
Good luck keeping him.
And the power with their scenario would have the ability to match as a restricted free agent in 12 months' time.
Saying the power have all the power.
Yes. 3 more. Rowan Marshall.
Pick 27. Just because he's a bit older.
Yeah, I'd say pick 20.
Okay.
Just because I think
You
he's
rate him?
value. I like him.
Yep.
And he's valued at St Kilda. He's got 2 years left on a deal. Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera.
Yeah, he's Butters, really. 2 top 12 picks.
Yeah, 2 top 8 picks.
Yep.
Harley Reid.
I want to hold him.
Okay.
Just because I want to have a wider conversation about him.
I think he's the same as the previous 2 that I mentioned with Wanganeen-Milera and Butters. So I'm saying 2 top 6 to 8 picks, and I think those 2 Essendon picks would be right in the hitting zone this year.
You got any more? We're done.
That's it. The other one I missed, I guess, was Petrarca.
Petrarca's worth, pick 10?
Yeah, I'd say pick 12.
That's it. Every time. He's just like 1 or 2
Well,
picks after me.
It's not like we're...
Yeah,
It's
you're
a
not
massive
splitting atoms
spread.
here. Yeah, it's true. We didn't really have any huge difference of opinion on value.
Yeah.
See,
Shows how much you love Bailey Fritsch.
I'm a big Fritter guy. And I think you get a slightly better pick because of the hair, I reckon. You have to. You have to increase your value because you get the hair.
Yeah.
There's a couple of big stories that I think are going to explode. It's going to be a big trade period. So are we putting, do we need to put Harley on the whiteboard?
I think we do now. Yeah.
Okay, well, you've talked about it for a while, so I think you grab a
Okay,
grab a magnet.
he's going on. This is not a suggestion either that he's leaving this year, but I think he's going to be a talking point over the next 10 weeks, 6 weeks of home and away and 10 weeks of the entire finals and trade period.
So, the game on the weekend against Port Adelaide, I think encompasses all the positives and negatives. It was the whole gamut of emotions from Harley.
Yeah.
Because what did he... So I don't have the stats in front of me, but from memory he had 26, kicked a goal, had 8 clearances.
Yeah, offensively it was good.
But he gave away, 6 free kicks. I think he's given away more free kicks than anyone in the competition. Is that the accurate statistic?
Yep, over the last 2 years.
And something like whoever's second is 8 or 10 free kicks behind. So he's in front by a while.
27 touches, kicked 1 goal, 2. And frees 4-3, frees against 6.
So he's a game changer, right? And he's potentially a club changer. So when we talk about value, it's a very interesting one. Having said that, the environment that he goes into is going to be ultra important. So let's just have a look at the ladder and, clubs that might be interested. Let's say he went to Essendon, right? And let's say Merritt's leaving, right? Let's just say for argument's sake.
We had this debate last week. Could
Yeah.
you turn Merritt into Reid?
And if you did, so who is at Essendon that's helping protect Reid, that's helping nurture Reid, that... I mean, obviously Brad Scott's coached some superstars before, but outside of the coach, on the field...
Who's his Elliot Yeo of last year?
Who's his Elliot Yeo? There's probably not one there. So, for me, if he was to go somewhere like Essendon...
He'd need Merritt to be there?
Well, but even if Zach stayed, like, I think, for me, he needs 3 or 4 of them, I reckon. So, an environment like Essendon, which is in the middle of a reset, I think it's equal risk for both parties. The good will be really good, but the bad could really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if he went somewhere like Geelong, you know, like think about all the people there that will be helping him through, and the
On or off field?
well, both. And I suppose on field they don't have as many as they did, and we don't know how much longer Dangerfield's going to play.
Yeah.
But they've still got enough of those middle-aged guys that have plenty of experience, like your Stewarts, like your... Guthrie hasn't played for a while.
Yeah.
Like your Blitzarves.
Cameron.
Like these guys that are going to have dealt with the spotlight, that can help him through, that can protect him on the field, that can protect him off the field.
So Essendon, you'd have McGrath, you'd have Langford if he stays.
Doesn't sound like Langford staying, does it?
Well, you're going to almost... Do I need to go harder with the whiteboard?
Well, it just doesn't sound like he's staying.
Oh,
He's definitely looking around.
Like I said last week, if a club came, I think you'd look at it.
You know,
Caldwell's a young guy. Durham's there. They're not at that age maturity, but they're protectors on field in terms of the way they play.
Are we ruling out somewhere like a Sydney? You know, that'll have Heaney and Warner and Goulden and, you know, these guys coming through with him, Papley, Rowbottom. These guys are going to protect him. Like, I'm just trying to think, Mitch, and this is a question without notice, and I don't know the answer. Who's the last situation like this where a guy's environment is going to be so crucial to his success? Whereas so many of the other superstars that have left, I mean, is it maybe Horn Francis to a degree?
Yep.
But so many of the other superstars that have left in the spotlight, you know, with big names, big deals, big stories, we weren't really talking about the environment that they were going into. Like, Cameron was always going to work at Geelong. Dangerfield was always going to work at Geelong. You know, Judd walked into captaincy at Carlton.
Buddy at Sydney.
Franklin at Sydney. I'm just trying to think of the absolute big ones. Ablett, you know, walked into captaincy at the Gold Coast, and that was a franchise, so slightly different. But outside of Horn Francis, when was the last time that a player needed a player with so much talent?
Tom Boyd.
Yeah, but Tom Boyd.
I'm trying to think of young guys that have been traded. So, like, I think Ablett, Franklin, these guys are in different conversations because they were 26 plus when they got traded.
Yeah,
and moved.
Yeah,
we're talking young guys.
Chera when he left Freo,
Yeah.
you know, we weren't really thinking about that.
This is not a dig at North. This is not a dig that boots into North Melbourne scenario. But if Horn Francis had been traded to another club, let's say Collingwood or you know the Bulldogs with the Bont and these guys around, there's every chance he would have stayed for a bit longer than what he did at North.
Oh, I think that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
And you know how like we're often comparing Dacos and Reid. Have I made this point on Tradies before? Oh, it might have been a conversation I had with Lloydie off air. I was asking the question. I don't know the answer. I was asking the question about like if you swapped Dacos and Reid at clubs. Dacos is, I mean, obviously Dacos is everything that all 18 clubs need. But Dacos at West Coast, forget the ability. His calmness and his leadership is exactly what Andrew McCullough's young side needs right now. And yet Reid at Collingwood, you feel like they'd pull him into line a lot quicker because they'd probably have less of a threshold for the other stuff. And the Darcy Moores and the Jeremy Howes and the Pendleburys and all these guys would be like, oi, that, you know,
And
we don't do that here. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in the twos.
And he'd be the third best mid at Collingwood. Right now, he has to be the best mid at West Coast. You know, Tim Kelly, who I think is worth a conversation over the next few weeks, he's been dropped on the weekend as a mature age guy, and he's just signed in the last 6 to 8 weeks a 2-year contract.
Yep.
Like, what's going on?
Yep. Another way to look at this, Mitch, is when Harley got drafted and after maybe his first dozen games, I think a lot of the conversation was, is he going to be the first $2 million player? Right, which is a very fair question. If you were creating a list right now of, or creating a market as a gambling company of who was going to be the first $2 million player, someone might do it with Reid just to get him over the line, but people like Dacos and Darcy would just be so far ahead, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. I want to see what Harley's capable of in year 3.
And I want to see what Harley's capable of in a senior environment with good people around him. Now, that's not a crack at West Coast, but we have been talking about this literally since episode 1 of Tradies.
Yeah.
They failed in putting people around him to come up with him. And I think that is part of the reason he's acting out, because he's playing in a shit team. They're getting belted most weeks, and he's getting very frustrated. And he hasn't got enough senior people around him. West Coast needed to do their due diligence to know that before they drafted him.
And have a look at Elliot Yeo. He's just signed a 3-year deal last year when clubs came for him. West Coast were backed into a corner to keep a senior guy around.
Can't play.
Hasn't played a single game this year. And
Yeah,
looks
sorry,
like
can't
he
get
won't.
on the parks. What I mean.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if, Harley Reid's presence got Elliot Yeo an extra year on that deal just as a protector and the need to keep him around. Because he was the guy last year that Harley walked taller next to.
Yep. Will he? And then there's somewhere like Hawthorn. He'd have guys like, Will Day, touch wood, he gets back on the park and stays there. Newcomb, these tough in and under guys.
Dylan Moore's a young leader.
I think I was about to say, Dylan Moore's, Sicily's.
Yeah.
Sicily went through a lot of what Harley Reid's going through. That precocious young talent that was acting out a little bit when he was young, turned himself into a captain. I was reflecting on it as I was driving home from classified last night. Of when was the last time that someone's future environment was so crucial to their potential success or failure? It's a fascinating one.
Yeah.
And then behind all of this is an actual human being. And I'm guilty of this as well. We all talk about Harley like he's some sort of robot. He's a 19, 20-year-old kid.
Yep. Is what we saw on the weekend the best sign for West Coast? That he's given the one finger to Jason Horne-Francis and said, you left after 1 year, back home to mummy. Is that the best sign for West Coast yet, that Harley,
probably,
with a 3-year contract, can't walk out in year 2? He just can't off the back of that. 1 year V2, but when Horne-Francis left, it was a 2-year contract and he left after 1 year.
I have 2 words for you. Dane Beams. I also have another.
As in, he went and said, I'm not leaving, then he left 4 weeks later.
Dan Houston.
Yeah.
Luke
But
Jackson.
that was who was the last one?
Luke Jackson.
Well, he hasn't left yet.
No, I know. I'm just saying that was part of the joke.
It was a
What they say doesn't matter.
But that was more than what he just said. That was on field, all the cameras. That was passion.
Yeah, but if Essendon came along, you just don't know. I was going to say, if Merritt declares that I'm going to Hawthorn and Essendon say we're going to turn that into Reid and he's $2.5 million and
in the last 7 days, has there been anything else that you've come across with Zach Merritt that makes you think that he's well and truly deserving of that whiteboard spot?
I am not unhappy that he's up on the whiteboard.
Okay.
You? Anything reach your desk? Yeah, I can tell.
No, I just think with a lot of factors, Essendon, there's going to be players look around. And I'm not sure if it's at Merritt, but there's going to be players look around. We spoke about Langford last week. We spoke last night on the agenda says about Darcy Parish and the concerns around his back injury at the start of the year and some friction that caused when he went outside the club for some external advice. There's going to be things.
Who's going to look at Parish? I don't mean that in a nasty way. It's just because of his body and the fact that he signed a big contract.
Yeah. Oh,
who's in the market for him? Someone that believes that they can turn him around, obviously.
Yeah, this is not... People are going to go, he was linking another player to Geelong. He's from that area.
Yeah.
They need mids. They've had interest in the past.
Yeah, well, they can't get Warple and Parish.
Yeah, so it's they don't need... Those guys wouldn't fit in the same side.
No, the same player.
But I don't think there's a strong market for Darcy Parish with his contract.
Market for Langford?
Yeah, I think so. Who?
Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, goal kicking forwards are hard to find, I suppose.
Yeah. I didn't put much work into it off the top of my head. could Carlton do with a third tall like that alongside Kerno Mackay if they both stay? If one of them leaves, is Langford a fit?
Carlton need another forward.
I'm just going alphabetically through the list. Collingwood probably don't with their keys with Jamie Elliott's style. Do Hawthorn need a Langford?
Melbourne.
Yeah. Have they got one with Fritsch?
He might be on the way out.
Yeah. Does Sydney need a Kyle Langford?
Yeah, he'd go well at Sydney. Sydney need a forward for sure. All right. Do we have the Bontempelli discussion now?
Where are we taking this?
Well,
we've been.
If he wasn't captain, and he wasn't one of the most loyal blokes that the game has seen, there'd be alarm bells and air raid sirens ringing out every single day. Like, why aren't we making a bigger deal of this?
All parties are telling me that this is heading in the right direction, and there's no indication he'll leave. So until I get a cooling on that.
So I accept all of that. It's the middle of July. It's about to be round 20.
What if I had have said to you when we did
round 20 of 24 rounds?
I don't want to even think 24 weeks ago when we started this show for this year. But what would we have said if first episode back in March if Bontempelli wasn't signed by mid-July? That he's leaving?
Well, I would have said to you that the Bulldogs were outside of the 8 and that they were under the pump.
Bevo's been sacked.
And that he's looking around. Well, they are 9th.
Yeah, they are.
If you had said to me 20 weeks ago that by the middle of July, the Western Bulldogs were out of the 8 and Marcus Bontempelli had not re-signed, I'd be like, no fucking way.
Yeah. And if you had asked me 15 weeks ago who's going to sign first, Bont or Bevo, we would have said Bont.
Oh, boy.
They play Friday night this week. It's Tuesday. The week's getting away. Are we going to be having the same conversation next week?
Because you said on this podcast, that they were waiting for the whole Libba 250th.
Yeah, that was my read.
And that they wanted some clear air. Well, Mitch, they've had it. I'm running out of reasons here.
Arthur's milk bar's up and running. What more could we be waiting for?
Oh,
Give me a percentage on his chances of leaving.
It has to be less than 1%. It has to be, doesn't it? Can we... So on the Bontempelli discussion, can we listen to James Hird on Footy Classified from last week?
He's got a great decision ahead of him. Whether he goes to the St Kilda and gets paid $1.7 million, or he stays at Carlton forever, he's going to get paid. My advice to Tom is just go and play. Embrace it. Embrace the pressure. Embrace it. Whichever way you go, make the decision in your own head and then go and play football as well as you can. But it does spark my mind as into Marcus Bontempelli is the best player in the competition. You think he's going to get 1.1, 1.2?
Maybe a little bit more, yeah.
Let's say it's 1.2. DeConey's 1.7. The price of leaving a club is right there in front of you, isn't it? $500,000 to leave is pretty obvious. It doesn't feel right to me that Tom DeConing can get 1.7 and Marcus Bontempelli can own 1.2. Is that the system that we want, or is that just market force?
Really interesting point. And James has done a great job of cutting through all of the stuff. Like, he enunciated it perfectly. He said it in 12 seconds, what you and I often take 5 minutes to say. But it did... Like, he's very much correct in that the guys who are often the premium guys in the competition, it rarely lines up with the guys who are paid the most, right? The last one I can think of who ended up being, at the time, the highest paid player in the comp, I reckon, was Dusty.
Yeah.
But that was largely...
Even Buddy before that?
Yeah, and Buddy. But and both of those, in a sense... Their wages were a result of another club. Yep. So with Buddy, he obviously left.
Yeah.
And Sydney, paid him whatever they paid him. He was the first
1.1, 1.2 a year.
First 10-year contract for $10 million, I think. And then Dusty is, famously retold the story about how he was, at Arden Street in the middle of the night, looking at the ground, wondering if he's going to go there. And really, Richmond paid him all that money because of the fear of losing him to North. That was a risk at the time because he wasn't the player that ended up being, but he was paid on potential. Now he lived up to it.
Yeah,
Buddy was paid on the player that he was and continued to be, and they got the deal and got the longevity. Bont would only probably eclipse that if he left. Because someone... Okay. If Marcus Bontempelli today held a press conference and said NRL or American style on steroids, I am yet to recommit to the Western Bulldogs because I would like to entertain other offers, right? If he just waved that flag, what would his biggest offer be?
Yeah.
$2 million?
Yeah.
Someone would pay him $6 million over 3 years.
Yeah.
They would.
They would. Yeah, they would.
To get him in the team.
For free as well.
Like, imagine, I'm just trying to think.
You don't give up a draft pick for free agents.
Oh, yeah, he's free too. Collingwood would move heaven and earth. Collingwood would, like, ship off 4 players, I reckon.
Well, they felt they had enough money for Matt Rowell.
Geelong would just email the AFL and ask for some more money. Gold Coast, no. Hawthorn
Hawthorn would have it, I reckon.
Sam Mitchell would wake up Lyndall and be like, "Oi,
We've got to get our coffee from Arthur's.
we got to go straight to the Bontempelli house, and we've got to do our best pitch because he's available." GWS Freo, no, tough. He plays with the Dogs. Sydney, probably not. Port, definitely not. Carlton, no. Melbourne, no. Essendon, no. St Kilda,
He wouldn't go to St Kilda.
no. North, no. Richmond, no. West Coast, no. It's really Collingwood, Geelong, or Hawthorn.
Yeah, we went.
But he's going to end up re-signing for 1.2.
That's the other part of this. So he was a 26-year-old free agent and signed a 4-year deal, whereas most guys do 6 or 7-year deals as a free agent superstar in their comp. But he bucked the trend of that. Remember, when we spoke about this, he's only signed that 4-year deal to take him to 30. Now, there's every chance his next deal as a 30-year-old will be more than his 26-year-old free agency deal, which is quite rare.
So you think, in the end, he and Tom Petoro have done the right thing?
Done the right thing. It was a risk because
we all saw it as a risk. In fact, I think I was certainly critical of it.
Yeah, and who's to say his body hadn't have, as a 30-year-old, how do you forecast 4 years' time?
So just for people who haven't been following this, for our listeners that are going for their morning walk, when he re-signed, a lot of eyebrows were raised as to... Because was it at a similar time, Mitch, that Petrarca and Oliver signed the huge deals?
It would have been, I reckon.
Maybe slightly before that. But certainly when long-term deals were being offered to other players,
yeah,
he could have easily signed for 8.
Yeah, at least 7.
Yeah, the Dogs would have said... he had sort of blank check kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he only signed for 4.
Yeah.
And a lot of the criticism at the time was, he's clearly leaving himself the option of leaving. But the more it's gone on, the more it's looked like, well, maybe he was just looking after the club initially.
He was.
And the risk has paid off because, to your point, he's potentially one of the rare examples that he's got to this stage of his career and he's worth more. Yeah,
well, say he had signed a 7-year deal as a 26-year-old. He probably in the market would have been worth 1.2 to 1.3 a year.
Yep.
But there's a chance his next contract's more than that for his last 3 or 4 years, whatever this next contract's going to be, which is quite rare as a 30-year-old. Not many guys' deals as a 30-year-old eclipse the deal they get as a 26-year-old. Now, the other one that springs to mind around the comp right now is Jamie Elliott. Like, as a 32-year-old, his next deal should be pretty good compared to what he maybe got as a 28-year-old, given his history, his body history.
Is Elliott out of contract?
Yeah, free agent.
Why is he not off the whiteboard?
There's talks progressing, I think, at the Pies.
Ah, the old talks progressing.
Leper's been away in the States for a couple of weeks.
Leper?
Yeah.
Leper?
He's
okay.
Leper.
Hang on, everyone. Just write that one down. Mitch, we found one of Mitch's contacts.
No.
G'day, Leper.
Interesting week too. Usually we give this a whirl every 12 months. Under 16 national champs at the moment.
Oh God, I'm going to get a coffee.
Everyone is up there, whining and dining around the Broadbeach Surfers area at the moment.
Why are you not up there?
Because how do the viewers of 7 want to get told about what's happening at the under 16 champs?
Well, because you tell them why it's important. That's why.
No, what is important is happens off the field, away from the actual 16s games. It's all the managers and all the clubs are up there doing their little secret squirrel conversations. So, for the back of this week, there's going to be plenty of movement, I think, on the whiteboard. And just on that, Tassie beat Gold Coast by 27 goals yesterday.
Hang on, Tassie?
Beat Gold Coast under 16s
by
27 goals. And that is important because in 2 years' time, the group that played yesterday as the under 16 group will be draft eligible. And that'll be Tassie's first group. And they've just knocked off Gold Coast, who
Where-
everyone in football thinks is this fantasy land of top 10 picks for the rest of their lives. The under 16 Tassie kids have just knocked off Gold Coast by 27 goals.
Where was the game played?
Gold Coast.
Yeah, but where? Do you know? Was it at Metricon?
Yeah. At People First.
Sorry.
Carrara, yeah.
Sorry, but my apologies.
Where the Suns play.
Yeah, so there was no roof on the stadium.
Oh, so you think they're...
And they won.
Yeah.
It's sending a message. Was it part of... Who was coaching? Was it part of the pre-game address? Let's show these guys that we can play without a roof.
I like that. Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera. So we're spoken about Bont. It's getting to round 19. He's still yet to re-sign. My gut feel has always been he'll sign a 2-year deal. But as every week goes on, he buys himself more leverage in the market. And I think a 2-year deal to 2027 would give him even more leverage because Tassie's coming in. Could you picture the money that he's going to be in the market at the end of 2027? But clearly it's still up in the air. And right now, many believe if he does leave the Saints, Port would be in front. Their first pick in this year's draft is pick 26. So how are they going to get that done with all that have at their disposal would be 26, a future first rounder, and a first rounder for 2027, which we know, pending Tassie's arrival in the comp, that'll be a compromised draft heavily because pick 10 in that draft, let's say Port finish middle of the table, that'll end up being pick 15 to 20 by the time the Tassie picks are wedged in and all those picks push out.
Yep.
So look at the Port list and you're thinking, what sort of assets do they have? If, let's say Nasiah gets to round 24, thanks for the Saints, I've loved my 4 years here. I want to go and play with my mates, Jace Burgoyne and Jason Horne-Francis, and play for the Power. How would they actually get this deal done? Because it's not like they can walk into the preseason draft. Other clubs would snap him up immediately in that preseason draft. There's no way. Like
Find himself playing for West Coast.
Yeah,
Oops. Shit, that didn't work out.
it's not like the Liam Baker conversation last year when they can just walk him. What do the Power actually have to get it done? So Bergman signed, Farrell was signed as a free agent. Sin's just done an extension. Burgoyne signed a 4-year deal, and you'd think that'd hold Butters to another year. So let's keep Butters out of this conversation for now. Georgiades is untouchable. Alira is too important to them. You know, guys like Ryan Burton are out of contract, but there's not much value there. One name that I look at is Ollie Lord and think, could a club come for him? He's been out of the side the last month, just got back in last week. Even with Lukosius and Marshall out, he hasn't been able to get a regular game.
Yeah, so what's he worth?
Well, that's the other thing. He's under contract. Clubs love, and there's an inflated market for young key forwards that have shown promise. And I think his first year or two, there was enough there. Just hasn't been able to crack it this year.
He's been playing SANFL.
Yeah.
So it's not as though anyone's giving heaps for him.
No, but like my point is,
It could help.
it can help because there's not a lot of other assets on that list. So my fear is if he does request a trade to Port, how do they actually do it?
Well, let me ask you this question. If you're Port Adelaide, who is more important to your next premiership? Zach Butters or Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera?
I'd say Butters.
I think I'd say Butters too. Even though Wanganeen-Milera might end up getting paid more.
Yeah, and you fear that Butters might leave in a year of time anyway.
Yeah.
So there's that factor.
But so this is
this
is my point with Port. Like, I know that you say that they've got the whip hand, and I agree with you.
With Butters?
Yeah. And I know that they can wait until next year and they can match the offers. I understand all of that.
Yeah.
But if you can turn Butters right now into Wanganeen-Milera versus you miss out on him and then Butters leaves for picks next year, what's the better result? What's the lesser of two evils? I don't know. Those are the questions that Jason Cripps, their list manager, has to ask. And Chris Davies, their head of footy, like that. They're the things they've got to weigh up. Of course, you wouldn't want to lose Zach Butters. Like, he's potentially a generational midfielder.
Yeah.
Having said that, if he's going to, if there's a high percentage chance he's going to leave anyway, do you miss out on a Wanganeen-Milera? Like,
or
are you shooting yourself in the foot? I don't know.
It's a good debate.
I don't know what the answer is.
And or do you back yourself? We'll keep Butters, let Wanganeen-Milera sign 2 years at the Saints, and we'll back ourselves to go get him and convince Butters that this is life under Josh Carr. We might be able to spike.
So the problem is with that. The problem with future planning is that
because
things
Bergman
move so quickly.
Yeah, but Bergman at the start of this year, most people in footy thought he was going to go, and he's decided to stay.
Is Bergman the one that you said's getting $1 million?
Yeah.
What's happening? Link, am I missing something with Bergman?
There is.
Am I missing?
I don't know how many
You
more
like
times.
him, but yeah.
I don't know how many more times I need to say this.
Okay.
In 12 months, there'll be $61 million players in the comp.
Yeah, but I don't think Bergman's top. Is he top 60? Maybe. Yeah, it's a. I think the Port Adelaide discussion is. I mean, they've got some. I'm going to do a big tradies project on Port because they've got a big 5 years ahead of them. But the Butters decision.
What about in the 31 hours of transit on the way to Belfast? You might be able to bring us a tradies investigation.
I'll have a lot to do on the plane. Lots to do. I got a lot of stuff to watch. I got to watch the first season of Landman.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's Billy Bob Thornton. It's on Stan, mate.
Right.
It's on Stan. Great company, Stan.
This is a question for you. 2019 draft, top 3. Matt Rowell, Noah Anderson, Luke Jackson. If that draft was tomorrow and you were drafting for the now...
For one game or for 10 years?
Sorry,
I suppose it's
you're
the
a
same
footy,
thing,
you're a
it's the
footy
same age.
club.
Yep.
They're all the same age, and you get to keep them for the rest of their career. Rowell, Anderson, Jackson. What order are you going?
Anderson, Rowell, Jackson. You?
My order is Anderson, Jackson, Rowell.
Wow. Rowell third after watching what he did on the weekend.
Yeah, I think Jackson's are too hard to find. I think Noah's in a league of his, well, not a league of his own, but he's in top 5 mids in the comp right now.
It was interesting watching Hawthorn Freo on Saturday night with $2 million worth of ruckman running around against $400,000 worth of ruckman.
That's a bit overkill, I reckon.
One of whom,
the 2 million.
of whom used to play for Freo.
Yeah, and left because Jackson arrived.
Correct. You think it?
I don't think Darcy's on as much money as people say.
He's not over $1 million.
No. Sean Darcy.
So sorry, Jackson's over $1 million.
So, yeah,
but
I think
Darcy's
on
contract
about 7 to 750.
Well, so best part of $2 million. It was 1.1 plus 750.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. It's not as though it's 2.2.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
Are you taking which? Like you said, I'm just asking because you said I reckon the Jacksons are harder to find.
Yeah.
And they are, but Jackson hasn't turned into Max Gawn yet. He might.
No, but
He might.
What are these guys like? They're all year 6.
Yeah, I understand. No, he might. I'm just saying, until he does,
Jackson's 23.
Until Jackson does, I'm probably happier going down the Meek path and spending my money on mids and key forwards. That's all I'd say.
This re-ranking wasn't a money conversation. So Max Gawn, just to compare, he was born in 91. His first All-Australian Blazer was 2016, so he was a 25-year-old.
Yep, that's a fair point. So, Jackson's just warming up into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, can we have a conversation around... So, I know that you would have done it on 7 many times. We did a little bit last night about the compromise draft. But I want to do it through the lens of, say, a North Melbourne.
Yep, and I want to talk about North and Clarko v Hawthorn as well at some point.
Okay, well I want to talk about similar things, so why don't we have the conversation together?
Yep.
I just want to look at the weekend. So I know that North Melbourne supporters get a bit frustrated with me because I think I go after them. And I know that I have a bit of fun with, they haven't been very good for a while. But on a semi-serious note, they are third last.
Mm-hmm.
We're towards the end of the season, and they don't have their pick.
Correct. They said, we're done with the draft. We're all in. It's time to go now.
Yeah. So, and then you add in the layer of that, Mitch, that you've got this compromise draft that may include West Coast getting pick 2. They don't have their own pick. Essendon may get an extra pick with Draper, like the academy kids coming through for Gold Coast. Like all this sort of stuff is going to push North further and further back. So that would be fine if you thought that, so take their ladder position out of it. I know that's hard to do, but let's just say because we're all building to a flag, but take their current ladder position out of it. I watched them play Melbourne on the weekend, and this is a team that have been heavily criticised. Their list is a little bit of a shambles, but they've got good enough kids. But Gawn's about to go. Petrarca and Oliver, are they staying? There's a lot of different.
They're in transition.
They're in transition. So I'm watching North saying, well, they're getting solidly beaten here. But on top of that, they were getting murdered around the ball.
And the midfield's meant to be their main weapon.
So that's my point. That's the point that I was very slowly, like the Titanic, getting to. I just look at their team on paper, and I'm not convinced this is the one moving up the ladder. So their midfield group on the weekend were Simpkin, Phillips, Stevens, Powell, Cheezel, Parker.
LDU out with concussion.
Understand.
Yep. But I'm trying to think of who's missing.
Yeah, McKercher was listed as playing a half forward. We know he's been playing half back, may turn into a mid.
Next, Errol Goulden, according to Kane.
Okay. I just don't see it. So you add in the fact that they've gotten rid of their pick, and you add in the fact that the priority pick rule has gone out the window. Now, the priority pick rule back in the day, yes, it was extremely flawed because it encouraged tanking.
Yeah,
we know that. So I'm not criticising the AFL for modernising the game, but and this may be the transition into your conversation. When Clarko was at Hawthorn and they were shithouse, you had the rule of if you spent 2 seasons winning fewer than 5.5 games, we'll give you extra help. Now, it may not have been the ideal system, but what it did, Mitch, is it provided transparency so that when Hawthorn got the extra pick of Roughhead, and I think they got Ellis, and when Richmond got, was Deledio a priority pick in the end? Or someone like that?
Yeah.
When Melbourne got their priority picks, all those 3 clubs ended up winning flags. And at least it was transparent. At least we had a hard and fast rule. And the rest of the competition could go, yeah, okay.
So just priority picks from back to 2003.
Yes, please.
Adam Cooney, Andrew Walker, Carlton, Colin Sylvia, Melbourne, Brett Delidio, Richmond, Jared Roughhead, Hawthorn, Ryan Griffin, Bulldogs, Mark Murphy, Carlton, Dale Thomas, Collingwood, Xavier Ellis, Hawthorn.
You forget that Daisy was a priority pick. So, Mitch, now we have a situation where, and they tried to, and the AFL obviously helped them out by giving them pick 3 for Mackay.
Which
you and I disagree on this. I don't want to have this argument again. Yep. You say that he got paid enough.
He got paid enough to trigger it, but the fact that they were so poor,
yep.
You know, if Mackay was, if North were middle of the table, it would have been pick 10 just by virtue of where they finished. But they were poor, so they got pick 3. They won.
So if you look at the
ladder, they got 2 end of first rounders too that they traded.
Yeah. So if you look at the ladder, the AFL can use Allen as a lever to help West Coast, and Richmond have already been helped and have bottomed out and got how many picks they get in the top.
How have Richmond helped?
No, as in like not necessarily helped, quote unquote, from the AFL, but they've already got their gamut of picks.
Yeah.
And
they won every trade last year.
And top end talent. Yeah. So what happens with North now?
Well, we go and...
How do they help them?
You cash in on Wardlaw, Sheasel, Dersma.
I don't see this as the group. I really don't. Do you? I haven't seen enough evidence.
I want 15 more games.
They were mauled by Melbourne. Mauled.
Yeah,
that scoreboard flattered them.
But like, we're talking about the key players at Melbourne are all in different age demographics. You know, like, and this is my point with North. Like, they last year went and got Caleb Daniel, Jack Darling, and Luke Parker. They're not game changers.
They all played on the weekend.
Yeah, but they're not game changers. Whereas
Sherry's talked about as a potential all Australian ruckman.
You know, look at Clarko.
All these top 10 picks.
Clarko's about to enter his 4th off season.
Yeah.
With North, and so far these are the picks he's brought in: Griffin Logue, Darcy Tucker, Liam Shields, Daniel Howe, Dylan Stevens, Zach Fisher, Biggie Newen, Toby Pink, Caleb Daniel, Jack Darling, Luke Parker.
Yeah, but
there is no...
With the greatest amount of respect, it's not Clarko's fault that club can't attract players.
But they've had more money. Like, do they need to go and do what St Kilda's doing with DeConing and just pay through the roof for someone?
But they've tried that. No one wants to come.
Well...
So is it development?
Brisbane,
is it development?
Brisbane were able to go and get Lockie Neal and Charlie Cameron when they were struggling too.
We all think Sheasel's going to be a star. We all think O'Sullivan's going to be a star. We all think Wardlaw's going to be a star. A lot of people think McKercher's going to be a star.
So give those guys 15 more games and see if they are or not before you...
Wow. Yeah. Not sure. I'm worried about North.
You've been worried about them for a while.
And I was more worried after watching on Sunday.
Micro Mitch.
Wow.
I've got a very learned listener, Advi, who messaged me and said, I want a bit of Micro Mitch, Tom. I said, okay, I'll come to the party. And he pointed out how much I've spoken in the past about players in their second years of contracts playing above their value. You know, Ashcroft last year, North medalist at Brisbane. Was he second or third year last year?
I think he was second.
Second? He was? Yeah.
I was going to say third.
Links on the ball, stepping in for Scotty.
Jeez, Scotty does better.
So players this year, in their second years, their base contracts have been between 110 and 190 grand, depending on where they were drafted and how many games they played in their first year.
3 months salary for you.
Then they get 4 grand a game every game this year.
That's nice.
So the max contract a player in their second year this year can earn is essentially 275 grand.
Which is what, say, Dacos earned.
Yep.
And nearly won the Brownlow.
The likely range for second year players this year is 200 to 250 grand a year.
Yep.
So I'll run you through some names and tell me, are these guys playing above, let's say, 250 on value right now? Harley Reid.
Yep.
Colby McKercher.
Yep.
Nick Watson.
Yep.
Jed Walter.
Yep.
Dan Curtin.
Yep.
Nate Caddy.
Yep.
Connor O'Sullivan.
Yep.
Logan Morris.
Yep.
Sean Manor.
Yep.
Joel Frazier at pick 45.
Oh, yep.
Cal Shadir.
Yeah, when he plays.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Lawson Humphries.
Yep.
Now, there's others probably in there as well, but they're the guys that are standing out. I just wanted to highlight Logan Morris. So his base contract this year is 110 grand because he was taken between pick 20 and 50. You add in 60 grand because he played more than 18 games in year one. So he's on 170 grand base this year. If he plays 25 games this year, that's 100K. So it's 270 grand this year. He's playing like an 800 grand player. What a bonus that is for Brisbane.
Particularly when you lose Dano.
Yeah. And you've got so many stars to fit in that side. We can roll them off. Like Bailey, McCluggage, Rayner, the Ashcrofts, Neil, Cameron, Harris Andrews. I'd even put Wilmot in that conversation. Starcevic is, a B, if not... Well, he's not A-graded, but he's a very good player.
How dare you?
Like, this is why these clubs compete.
I can't believe you just mentioned Starcevic and A-grade in the same sentence.
He's very good on grand... Did you see his grand final last year?
Were we not talked enough about A-grade?
Logan Morris is 11th in the Coleman with 33 goals. He's on track to break 50 as a second-year player.
That's amazing that he's 11th in the comp for goals kicked. That's amazing.
And he's leading Brisbane's goal kicking by 5.
Yep. That's gone under the radar. That's very micro.
So,
I like it.
Thanks to Advi for pointing that out.
All right. It's that time of the pod.
Oh!
It's time for
I had a few messages about this.
It's time for the Tradies tease. Thanks to the great people at Lexus of Blackburn.
I haven't had more response to a single segment on, maybe since Micro Mitch, but on the show than this.
Did you work out who I was talking about?
Yeah. Am I going with it?
I'm not gonna confirm or deny. You're welcome to guess. So for those of you who missed the segment,
go to the last 90 seconds of last week's show.
Yeah, I said that there was a player out there that his club had to be a contracted player that the club had to be very careful, otherwise he was going to ask for a trade.
Yeah.
And you first guessed Bailey Smith, which was pretty funny.
That was the first name that came to mind, but I've since done some proper thinking about it.
Did you have to call people to ask who they... Okay.
No, I was pretty easy to work out.
Oh, who was it?
Charlie Curnow.
Was it? Is that who I was talking about?
Yes or no?
Not confirming. That's part of the Tradies tease.
All right, what's this week's? I will bring one to the table.
No, you bring... Yeah, don't... You bring a lot to the table. Don't worry about that. I would suggest to you that there is a situation unfolding at a certain club whereby their captain, who is contracted...
Okay, so it's not the Bulldogs.
...may be talked about...
It's not West Coast?
...by both parties as, would we both look at a potential move? Could there be... Now, no one will confirm this, but would there be a situation that arises that sees both parties amicably part ways?
Okay. Do I drop the name now?
At
or
the
wait,
end of the season.
Do I wait for
Well,
for a
it
week?
can only be one of 18. So there's no need to do
It's
it.
not the Bont because he's not under contract. Oscar Allen, no. Unless it's Liam Duggan, but unlikely.
Well, you don't know.
All right. Well, I'll drop the name next week. I've got one in mind, but I'll let that simmer for the tradies community for a week.
The Tradies tease. Thanks to Lexus of Blackburn. I need to get you in one of those cars. Can't be driving around in the Skoda anymore. Anything to leave us with?
No, enjoy your trip.
What should be the first thing I do when I get on the plane?
Put your mask on. I travel with a mask now.
Oh, God.
Nah, I reckon...
Hang on. Sorry. I know we're supposed to finish. Are you travelling with your own pillow and your own face mask?
The pillow goes in check-in. That is why I travel with a mask. Because the last 3 times before I did this, I got crook, I reckon. The air on planes, shocking.
Oh, you're talking about a mask for your mouth.
Yeah, what do you think?
I thought you meant eye mask for sleeping.
Oh, no, but I'm not against them.
You're travelling with your own COVID face mask.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do that.
Why?
No, that's off.
If I'm flying to Sydney or Queensland, it's an hour or 2 hours wearing a mask. Otherwise, I get crook and I'm cooked for 3 days.
You can't be doing that. I can't have my tradies
it's an optics
co-host
thing?
rolling. Yeah, it's an optics thing.
Well, there's like 4 people that will see you with it on the plane.
I can't have my tradies co-host rolling around on a plane with a mask over his mouth. What if people want to take photos with you?
Just take it off.
You're not Taylor Swift.
Let me know at Tradies Podcast, TikTok and Instagram. Do you think this is a good idea? Because the amount of...
I think the overwhelming response will be
yeah, because
no.
people, it don't really look like you travel with a mask. It doesn't look cool. How about you get crook for 3 days and you hold up in bed?
Grandpa Mitch has just come into the show. I've never seen this side of Mitch.
And I'm not against an eye mask for a long haul flight either.
Yeah, I haven't packed mine.
You got one.
Oh, but I assume that they'll give me one on the plane.
Oh,
right.
That's what happens when you fight the front link.
Now. now. I'm not up the front. I'm not up the back.
Okay.
Somewhere in the middle.
Bit of leg room.
Bit of extra leg room. I'll send a pic for the tradies communities when I get on the plane. Hey, thanks for joining us. I have not been to the brewery in a couple of weeks now, and it's starting to annoy me. It's hard to go to the brewery on the way to Wimbledon. So I'd love to catch up with you, Mitchell, and some of our tradies listeners. When's our next opportunity, please, for a beer with Tim and Carla at... I would like a session ale.
Collingwood played Brisbane on the
Is that Friday night?
August 2.
Friday night?
Yeah, Saturday night.
Saturday night at the G?
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah.
Do you want to... Should we lock in a date, you and me?
Yep.
Candlelit?
Yep.
Carla, if you can please save our table, our usual table. Mitch and I will be there on Saturday. But just for future reference, Mitch now requires a face mask for all outdoor ventures.
No, when I don't have to sit within a metre of someone else, it's fine.
Are you wearing a mask like at home, like around Kate? Or
Nah.
Just you're going to avoid all human contact at
It's
all
the
times?
airflow on the plane.
Oh, jeez, you've been... Someone's got to you. Someone's got to you. All right, that does us. We're here for the great people at St Andrews Beach Brewery, their new brewery at Melbourne Park, the only place to be before a game at the G this season. I am off to Belfast. We will be doing our next pod with me sitting in a pub in Ireland drinking Guinness. We'll see you then.